The room froze when Logan Matthews' gaze locked on the teenage boy standing before him. His breath caught, his pulse stumbled, and the sound of Chicago's wind outside vanished into silence. The boy's eyes mirrored his own, sharp and stormy. "You told her to get rid of me," the boy said, his voice trembling between rage and heartbreak. Logan's chest tightened as Olivia stepped closer, calm but cold. 17 years, Logan," she whispered. 17 years of silence because of your pride." The world's noise collapsed. His empire meant nothing. His past had returned, wearing his face and demanding the truth. Before we continue this emotional story, please take a moment to support the channel, subscribe, like, comment, and share. Your engagement helps stories like this reach more hearts around the world. Every click, every comment, and every share encourages us to keep telling powerful stories that teach about love, betrayal, forgiveness, and redemption. So, if you believe that mistakes can become miracles, show your support now. Tap the subscribe button, hit the like, share this video with a friend, and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Now, let's continue with this unforgettable, life-changing story. Flashback 17 years earlier. The summer evening carried a restless breeze through Chicago's skyline as Olivia Matthews stood by the penthouse window, her hand resting gently on her rounded belly. She was 6 months pregnant, and every heartbeat reminded her of the life growing within her. Behind her, the soft clink of glass echoed as Logan poured himself another drink. His reflection glimmered in the floor-to-ceiling window, powerful, successful, untouchable. "Logan," she said softly, "we need to talk about the baby." He turned slowly, eyes cold, lips pressed tight. The warmth she once saw in them had been replaced by ambition, pride, and silent judgment. He set his glass down, adjusting his cufflinks like the conversation was an inconvenience. "You mean your decision," he replied, his tone sharp enough to slice through her trembling voice. Olivia turned to face him fully, courage flickering beneath her fear. "Our decision," she corrected quietly. Logan's jaw tightened. "No," he said flatly. "You're the one who made this problem." The word problem stung more than any slap. She stepped closer, voice cracking. "He's not a problem, Logan. He's your son." But he refused to meet her eyes. His silence carried more cruelty than anger. It was a sound of rejection. The air thickened between them as Logan exhaled sharply, pacing toward his bar again. "I've worked my whole life for this," he muttered, his voice trembling with irritation. "Do you know what it means if this gets out? I'll lose investors, partnerships, everything I built." Olivia's heart sank. "You'll lose your family first," she said. He laughed bitterly. "Family doesn't protect reputations, Olivia. Decisions do." Tears blurred her sight. "You're choosing your company over your child." Logan turned, eyes burning. "You want honesty? Fine. If you keep that baby, you leave this house. I won't let a child ruin my empire." Silence swallowed her breath. The man she loved stood before her, as a stranger wearing his face. "You can't mean that," she whispered, clutching her stomach protectively. "I do," Logan said coldly. "Either you end it, or you walk out tonight. There's no middle ground." Olivia's tears fell freely now. "How can you look at me and say that?" He picked up his glass again. "Because I built my name on control," he answered simply. She shook her head slowly, realization dawning. The man she once admired wasn't protecting success. He was worshiping it, and there was no room for love. Olivia turned toward the window, staring at the skyline glowing beneath the night. Each light seemed to mock her, millions of people below. Yet she'd never felt more alone. Logan's phone rang. He answered it instantly, pretending she wasn't even there. His laughter on the call echoed through the room, stabbing her chest like a blade. When the call ended, she whispered, "One day, you'll regret this." He didn't reply. He simply said, "Make the right choice, Olivia." That night, while he slept soundly beside his pride, she packed a single suitcase. Her tears fell silently onto the floor as she prepared to leave. The elevator hummed softly as it carried Olivia down from the penthouse. She held her belly with both hands, whispering to the child within her, "You deserve love, not shame." Her wedding ring caught the dim light, and she slipped it off, letting it fall into her purse. The doors opened, and she stepped into the cool Chicago night, the wind brushing her cheeks like a final goodbye. Taxis rushed past, the world continuing as if her heart hadn't shattered. She didn't look back once. She walked away quietly, determined to protect her unborn son, even if it meant losing everything. At dawn, Logan woke to silence. The scent of her perfume still lingered faintly in the room, but her side of bed was empty. He walked into the living room, noticing the missing suitcase and folded blanket on the couch. He ran a hand through his hair, muttering under his breath, "She'll handle it quietly." He poured himself coffee, convincing himself her absence meant obedience. He never called her name. He never searched the clinics or checked the airports. In his mind, the problem was solved. His pride told him she'd done what was necessary, and that pride became his peace. Weeks passed, and life returned to Logan's perfect rhythm, or so he told himself. Meetings filled his calendar, interviews praised his empire, and magazines crowned Chicago's most influential CEO. But every success sounded hollow. Late at night, when he stood before the same window she once stood beside, her voice echoed faintly in his head. "You'll regret this." He'd shake it off, drowning guilt with whiskey. He never said her name aloud, never allowed the thought of a child to enter his mind. To him, Olivia was a memory erased by ambition, nothing more than collateral damage in his pursuit of greatness. 17 years vanished like smoke. Olivia built a life far away from that tower, raising her son with quiet strength. She never told Liam about his father's cruelty, choosing instead to fill his world with warmth and patience. But now, as he neared adulthood, she saw his questions rising like tides she couldn't hold back. He was curious, proud, and intelligent, too much like Logan to stay blind forever. Each time he asked, she looked away, afraid of the truth's sharpness. Yet she knew silence wouldn't protect him forever. One day, the past she buried would knock loudly at her door. That day came on a rainy afternoon. Liam walked into the living room, clutching a folded newspaper. "Mom," he said softly, "I need you to tell me something." Olivia looked up, sensing the weight in his voice. He unfolded the page, revealing a magazine article featuring billionaire Logan Matthews at charity gala. "Everyone at school said I look like this man," Liam whispered. They were joking, but look. Olivia froze, her hands trembling. The resemblance was haunting. "Where did you find that?" she asked. "Online," Liam replied. "Mom, please," he whispered. "Who is he?" The truth hovered between them. Present day, Evanston, Illinois. Olivia's throat tightened as she met Liam's expectant eyes. Her voice wavered. "That man," she said quietly, "is your father." Liam blinked rapidly, unsure he heard right. "My father?" She nodded, tears glistening. "His name is Logan Matthews." He was powerful, admired, and feared in Chicago's business world. Liam's breath caught. "You're saying that man in the newspaper, the billionaire, is my father?" "Yes," she whispered. "He never knew you existed." Liam stepped back, disbelief and anger swirling. "So he's alive," he muttered bitterly. "And he just moved on like nothing happened?" Olivia nodded, tears sliding down. He moved on without looking back. Liam dropped the newspaper onto the couch, the photo staring back at him like an accusation. "You love that man?" he asked, his tone sharp but trembling. Olivia's eyes softened. "Yes," she admitted. "Once. But love doesn't survive where pride lives." Liam clenched his fists. "Did he even want me?" Olivia looked away. "He didn't want anyone to know I was pregnant. He gave me a choice, and the pregnancy or leave." Liam's chest heaved. "And you left to protect me." "Yes," Olivia said, tears falling freely now. "I left because I couldn't let you grow under a man ruled by pride." Liam sat down slowly, the truth crashing into him like a storm. "So he thought you got rid of me," he said quietly. Olivia nodded. "He believed that for 17 years." The realization cut through Liam like glass. "He doesn't even know I exist," he murmured. Olivia wiped her tears. "No, he doesn't." Silence stretched between them. Then his voice hardened. "Then he's going to find out." Olivia's eyes widened. "Liam, wait." "No, Mom." He interrupted. He deserves to see the truth. He deserves to face the life he threw away. His words were steady, but anger burned beneath his calm. That night, the storm outside mirrored the one inside Olivia's chest. She sat awake long after Liam had gone to bed, staring at the flickering shadows on the wall. Each memory of Logan replayed like a cruel movie, his voice, his pride, his cold command. She whispered softly, "You'll regret this one day, Logan." Lightning flashed, illuminating the framed photo of Liam on the table. She traced the boy's smile with trembling fingers. "He's nothing like you," she said under her breath. "He's everything you refuse to be." But deep down, fear whispered. What if meeting Logan reopened every wound she buried? Morning came heavy and gray. Olivia moved slowly through the small house, packing a few clothes into a worn suitcase. Liam appeared in the doorway, dressed and ready, determination glowing in his eyes. "Mom," he said, "we have to go." She hesitated. "And if he rejects you?" "Then he'll live with what he lost," Liam replied firmly. Olivia studied his face, the mix of innocence and strength. "You have his eyes," she whispered softly, "but you have my heart." He smiled faintly. "Then maybe that's enough." Olivia zipped the suitcase shut. "Let's go then," she said quietly. "It's time he sees us." The train rattled steadily toward Chicago, its rhythmic motion blending with Olivia's racing thoughts. Liam sat beside her, staring through the window at the rain-soaked countryside. "You really think he'll recognize you?" she asked softly. Liam's gaze never moved. "He doesn't have to recognize me," he said. "He just has to face me." Olivia's heart twisted. 17 years of silence can't erase what he did, she murmured. Liam turned toward her. "You've forgiven him, haven't you?" She looked down, voice barely a whisper. "Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting, Liam. It just means I chose peace over pain." The train roared into the city. They arrived in Chicago beneath a cloudy sky. Olivia stepped onto the platform, her breath catching as the city's towering skyline stretched before her. It hadn't changed, the noise, the pace, the memory of the night she left. Liam studied her face. "You okay, Mom?" She nodded weakly. "Just ghosts," she said softly. They caught a cab and rode in silence. When the cab stopped before a glass skyscraper, Olivia froze. The building shimmered, like pride itself. "This is where he works," she whispered. Liam paid the driver and turned to her. "Then let's end 17 years of silence," he said calmly. Logan Matthews sat behind his mahogany desk, staring at the Chicago skyline that once made him feel invincible. But today, the power didn't comfort him. Lately, he'd grown tired of board meetings, luxury, and loneliness. His assistant entered briskly. "Sir, there's a woman here to see you," she said. "She says her name is Olivia Matthews." Logan froze. The name struck like lightning. "Did you say Olivia?" he asked softly. The assistant nodded. "She's not alone, sir. There's a teenage boy with her." Logan's heart lurched. His breath caught as 1,000 memories flooded back. "Send them in," he said quietly. "Right now." The door opened slowly, and Olivia stepped inside. Time seemed to stop. Her hair had streaks of gray now, but her eyes still carried that same quiet fire. Logan stood, his composure cracking. His gaze shifted to the young man beside her. Liam's face was calm, but his presence was powerful. "You," Logan whispered. His voice failed him. "You didn't—" Olivia finished for him. "No, Logan," she said coldly. "I didn't." Logan's knees weakened as truth and memory collided. 17 years, he murmured. "I thought you thought wrong," Olivia interrupted. "You didn't lose a problem. You lost your family." Logan's throat tightened as he looked between them, confusion flooding his face. Who is he?" he asked, his voice trembling. Olivia met his eyes coldly. "Your son," she said. "His name is Liam." Logan's breath caught, the name slicing through the silence like lightning. He took a step closer, guilt washing over him. "My son," he repeated weakly, disbelief cracking his tone. Liam's stare didn't waver. "You gave me life but not love," he said quietly. Logan's knees weakened. "I didn't know," he whispered. Olivia crossed her arms. You didn't want to know Logan, and that's even worse. The confrontation, Logan's office, Chicago, the air in the office thickened, heavy with tension and unshed tears. Logan stood frozen, eyes darting between Olivia and Liam. "My son," he repeated under his breath, his voice breaking with disbelief. Olivia's face remained composed, but her trembling fingers betrayed years of buried emotion. "You told me to end his life," she said coldly. "Instead, I gave him one without you." Logan's eyes filled with tears as he stepped closer. 17 years, he whispered. 17 years, and I didn't know." Liam clenched his fists, jaw tight. "You didn't want to know," he said bitterly. "You just wanted peace." Logan's breath quickened. "I thought you ended the pregnancy," he stammered. "I told myself that's what you'd do." Olivia's gaze was sharp as glass. "You told yourself lies because they were easier to believe." He looked down, guilt twisting in his chest. "You left without a word." "You left me no choice," Olivia replied firmly. "I left to protect him from your arrogance." Liam's eyes burned with restrained fury. "You never searched for her, did you?" Logan shook his head slowly, shame swallowing him. "No," he said softly. "I didn't. My pride convinced me she'd moved on." Olivia looked disgusted. Silence filled the room like smoke. Logan turned toward the window, the city lights shimmering through his reflection. "Every night, I told myself I did the right thing," he murmured. "But the truth always came back to haunt me." Olivia crossed her arms. "You traded love for reputation. Logan, was it worth it?" His voice trembled. "No," he admitted. "I won everything the world offers, but lost everything that mattered." Liam stepped forward, emotion rising. "Then say it," he demanded. "Say you were wrong." Logan turned, eyes wet. "I was wrong, son, about everything." The word son cracked something inside him. Liam stared at him silently, chest rising and falling with emotion. "Do you have any idea what it's like to grow up without a father?" he asked. Logan swallowed hard, unable to answer. "I watched my mom struggle, cry, and smile through pain you caused," Liam continued. "You lived rich while she lived strong." Logan bowed his head, guilt burning through his pride. "You have every right to hate me," he said quietly. "But I don't hate you," Liam replied. "I pity you, because you chose a name over family." The words hit harder than any slap could. Olivia turned toward the window, blinking away tears she swore she'd never shed again. The sound of father and son confronting truth filled the room with raw pain. Logan took a shaky step toward her. "Olivia," he whispered, "I don't deserve forgiveness." She turned slowly, meeting his broken gaze. "You're right," she said. "You don't." Logan nodded, accepting her truth. "But I want to earn it," he said softly, "even if it takes the rest of my life." Olivia's expression softened slightly, though her heart remained guarded. "Forgiveness isn't earned through words, Logan," she said. "It's proven through change." Logan exhaled deeply, staring at the floor like a man facing his own grave. "I can't change the past," he said quietly, "but I can start again with both of you." Liam exchanged a quick glance with Olivia before stepping forward. "Start again," he echoed. "You had 17 years to be a father." Logan's eyes glistened. "And I threw them away," he said. "But if you let me, I'll spend every day trying to rebuild what I destroyed." Olivia hesitated. For a moment, she saw the man she once loved beneath the arrogance. "Then stop talking about redemption," she said. "Live it." The sound of rain began again outside, faint but rhythmic. Logan moved to the couch, sitting heavily, the weight of guilt pressing down. Liam remained standing, his fists slowly unclenching. Olivia watched quietly, her emotions warring between anger and empathy. Logan rubbed his temples. "You both deserve better," he said softly. "I was blind, chasing power that meant nothing." Liam's tone softened. "You still have a chance to be someone better," he said. Logan looked up, eyes shining. "Do you believe that?" "I believe people can change," Liam replied, "but only if they face the damage they caused." Logan nodded silently. For the first time, Logan's proud posture collapsed completely. "I don't expect forgiveness," he said. "I just want to know you." Liam hesitated, studying him carefully. "Knowing me won't be easy," he said honestly. "I'm not the little boy you could have shaped. I'm the young man you abandoned." Logan's voice broke. "Then let me learn who that man is." Olivia folded her arms. "Learning starts with humility, Logan." He nodded. "Then I'll learn." For a moment, the three stood in fragile silence. No more shouting, no more pride, just the sound of a broken family searching for a way to heal. Olivia finally sat down, her exhaustion visible. "I didn't come here for revenge," she said softly. "I came because Liam deserved the truth." Logan nodded, his hands clasped tightly together. "And now that he knows, I want to do right by both of you." Liam looked between them, emotion trembling beneath his calm. "You can't erase the past," he said, "but you can build something better." Logan exhaled, a tear slipping down his cheek. "That's all I want." Olivia gave a faint nod. "Then start by proving that the man you are today is stronger than the pride that destroyed us." The meeting ended in quiet reflection rather than resolution. Olivia rose first, placing a hand on Liam's shoulder. "It's time to go," she said softly. Logan stood, but didn't move closer. His eyes followed them as they walked toward the door, fear flickering behind his hope. "Will I ever see you again?" he asked weakly. Olivia paused, her back still turned. "That depends on who you decide to become." Liam gave one last look before leaving, his expression unreadable. When the door closed, Logan stood alone in the vast office. For the first time in years, silence felt like punishment. Days later, regret and realization. The following morning, Logan sat in his silent penthouse, the same place where pride once ruled and love had died. The city buzzed beneath him, but its noise couldn't drown his thoughts. Empty whiskey glasses lined the counter like ghosts of his mistakes. He stared at an old wedding photo, Olivia in white, smiling with hope he'd never earned. His trembling fingers brushed the frame. 17 years, he whispered. 17 years gone. For the first time, the man who had built an empire felt powerless. Wealth couldn't buy peace. Reputation couldn't erase regret. Only forgiveness could heal what his pride destroyed. Logan tried to work, but couldn't focus. Each time he opened a report, Liam's voice echoed. "You gave me life, but not love." The words haunted him more than any business failure ever could. By afternoon, he closed his laptop and left the office without warning. His driver looked shocked. "Where to, sir?" Logan hesitated. "Home," he said quietly. But he didn't mean his penthouse. He meant the place he'd never truly had. That night, he stood on his balcony, looking over the glowing city, realizing that every skyscraper he built only stood taller than the family he'd abandoned long ago. Across town, Olivia sat on the couch, staring into the quiet evening. The confrontation replayed endlessly in her mind, his trembling apology, his broken eyes, his disbelief. Liam entered with 2 mugs of cocoa, setting one beside her. "You've been quiet," he said gently. She smiled faintly. "Just thinking." "About him?" he asked. "About everything," she admitted. "I thought seeing him again would make me angry, but it didn't. It just made me sad." Liam sat beside her, wrapping an arm around her shoulder. "You still love him," he whispered. Olivia's eyes glistened. "Love isn't the word. I just never stopped caring." Liam leaned back, staring at the ceiling. "He looked broken, Mom," he said softly, like a man who finally realized what he lost. Olivia nodded slowly. "Sometimes losing everything is the only way to understand what really matters." Liam hesitated. "Do you think he deserves another chance?" She didn't answer right away. "I don't know if he deserves one," she said at last, "but maybe he needs one." Liam sighed deeply. "You're too kind, Mom." Olivia smiled sadly. "Kindness isn't weakness, Liam. It's choosing peace when anger offers nothing." Outside, the wind rustled gently, as if echoing her quiet forgiveness. Logan spent the next several days in reflection, isolating himself from meetings and social events. Reporters called, investors worried, but he ignored them all. He donated anonymously to several family shelters, remembering Olivia's strength and the years she'd endured alone. Each act of kindness felt like repentance written in silence. One evening, he sat alone at his desk, staring at the empty side where Olivia's laughter once lived. He ran a trembling hand over the mahogany surface and whispered, "I drove them away." The empire surrounding him felt meaningless. Every luxury mocked the love his pride had destroyed 17 years ago. Days turned into a week. Logan couldn't shake the ache in his chest. Every morning, he called Olivia's number but hung up before she could answer. He didn't know what to say or how to fix the past. One evening, after pacing his penthouse for hours, he sat at his desk and began to write. The words flowed like a confession. "I was blind and pride was my curse. You and Liam were the light I threw away. I don't ask for forgiveness. I just want a chance to be present." He sealed the letter, unsure if courage would deliver it. The letter arrived 3 days later. Olivia stood by the mailbox, holding the white envelope with trembling hands. She recognized his handwriting instantly. Liam appeared beside her. "It's from him, isn't it?" he asked. She nodded silently and opened it. As she read, tears streamed down her cheeks. The words weren't excuses. They were pain poured onto paper. Liam took the letter gently when she finished. "Mom," he said softly, "maybe you should let him talk." Olivia folded the note carefully. "I don't know if I can," she whispered. He broke something that doesn't heal easily, but part of her wanted to try. Later that night, Olivia sat at her desk, staring at the moonlit street. Logan's words echoed in her mind, his regret, his honesty, his promise to change. She sighed deeply, picking up her phone before setting it down again. Liam entered the room quietly. "You're thinking about him," he said. She nodded. "He's trying, Liam. That's new for him." Liam smiled faintly. People change when they finally feel what they cause. Olivia glanced toward the photo of her son and the man who'd once destroyed her peace. "Maybe," she said softly, "but real change doesn't erase pain. It earns a right to heal it." The next morning, Logan sat at the park bench near the river, holding a small box in his lap. Inside lay a silver bracelet engraved with the name Liam. He'd ordered it days earlier, but couldn't bring himself to deliver it. When footsteps approached, he didn't look up. "You still choose silence when you're afraid," Olivia's voice said behind him. He froze before turning slowly. She stood there, calm and poised. "You came," he whispered. "I read your letter," she said softly. "And?" he asked, his heart trembling. Olivia's eyes glistened. "I didn't come for forgiveness, Logan. I came for closure." Logan nodded slowly, his throat tightening. "Then let me say what I never did," he murmured. He stood, facing her directly. "You were right. Pride destroyed everything. I should have fought for you for him." Olivia's lips quivered. "You can't change the past." "I know," he said, "but I can honor the future." He handed her the box, his hand trembling. Olivia opened it, tears slipping silently down her face. "It's for him," Logan said softly. "Not to buy forgiveness, just to say I finally see him." Olivia held the bracelet gently. For the first time, she believed his words carried truth. Weeks later, the path to redemption. Days after their meeting at the park, Logan began volunteering at a youth foundation he secretly funded in Olivia's name. He spent mornings mentoring teenagers from broken homes, listening to stories that mirrored his own mistakes. The work humbled him. Each face reminded him of the son he never raised. Every smile reminded him of what pride had stolen. Olivia heard about his efforts through the local paper, but said nothing. Deep down, she wanted to believe it was genuine. Change wasn't about apologies. It was about consistency. For the first time, Logan Matthews was building something fueled by compassion. Liam visited the park one evening, curiosity pushing him toward the man he still struggled to understand. Logan sat on the same bench, handing out snacks to children chasing pigeons. When he noticed Liam, his breath caught. "You came," Logan said softly. "I wanted to see for myself," Liam replied. Logan nodded, unsure what to say. "I'm not the same man," he whispered. Liam folded his arms. "That's easy to say." Logan looked at the laughing children nearby. "I used to think power defined me," he said. "Now I know purpose does." Liam stayed silent, but didn't walk away this time. The two sat quietly, letting the city's evening rhythm fill the gaps between them. Logan reached into his pocket and pulled out a worn notebook. "I write now," he said nervously. "It helps me stay honest." Liam raised a brow. "About what?" "About my failures," Logan admitted. "About losing you and your mother." Liam hesitated, studying his father's trembling hands. For the first time, he didn't see a billionaire. He saw a man trying to rebuild. "You don't need to prove anything with words," Liam said quietly. "Just actions." Logan nodded slowly. "Then let my actions speak louder from now on." Meanwhile, Olivia found herself driving past Logan's office one afternoon. She hadn't planned to stop, but curiosity anchored her near the building. Through the glass lobby, she saw him speaking to a group of employees. His tone was softer, his posture humbler. It startled her to see sincerity where arrogance once lived. She parked by the curb and sat quietly, her heart battling the memories of pain and love. 17 years had carved wounds deep inside her, but seeing him like that stirred something fragile. She whispered under her breath, "Maybe he's finally learning what it means to be human." A few days later, Logan showed up unannounced at Olivia's home. When she opened the door, surprise flickered in her eyes, followed by hesitation. "Logan," she said calmly, "what are you doing here?" He swallowed hard. "I didn't come to talk about the past. I came to thank you for raising Liam into someone I can look up to." Olivia blinked, momentarily speechless. "You don't owe me gratitude," she said firmly. "You owe him time." Logan nodded. "That's all I'm asking for. Time to know my son." For the first time in years, his voice carried truth without the shadow of pride. Olivia stepped aside, allowing him to enter. The air inside the small living room was warm, filled with the scent of coffee and old books. Liam looked up from the couch, eyes widening in surprise. "You came back," he said cautiously. Logan smiled faintly. "If you'll have me." Liam didn't reply, but motioned toward the empty chair beside him. Logan sat slowly, unsure if his presence was a gift or a test. "I heard you're volunteering," Liam said. "Yeah," Logan replied. "Trying to fix the world while fixing myself." Liam studied him carefully. "Then maybe that's a good place to start." That evening stretched into hours of quiet conversation. Logan listened more than he spoke, letting Liam's words teach him what fatherhood truly meant. Olivia brewed tea and sat nearby, observing the two with quiet pride. For the first time, laughter filled the house, a sound buried for nearly 2 decades. Logan's chest ached with gratitude. "I don't deserve this," he said softly, "but I'll never stop trying to." Liam smiled faintly. "No one gets everything right," he said, "but we can still finish right." Olivia looked at them, tears glistening. For once, peace didn't feel impossible. It felt earned. Weeks passed, and Logan's visits became frequent. Sometimes he brought takeout. Other times, he simply sat in silence while Liam worked on homework and scholarship essays for college applications. The distance between them shrank inch by inch. Olivia watched in the background, guarded yet hopeful. Logan no longer wore his expensive suits. He came in simple shirts, humility replacing vanity. "You've changed," Olivia said one evening. Logan smiled. "You taught me how." She chuckled softly. "No, Logan. Life did." He nodded, glancing toward Liam, who was asleep on the couch. "Then life gave me another chance," he whispered. "I won't waste it again." The news eventually spread. Chicago's once feared billionaire had stepped down from his company. Rumors swirled, but Logan ignored them. He no longer cared about headlines. His new foundation flourished, supporting single mothers and underprivileged children. At the opening ceremony, he stood beside Olivia and Liam, reporters snapping photos. "Who's the young man beside you, Mr. Matthews?" a journalist asked. Logan smiled proudly. "My son," he said without hesitation. Olivia's heart swelled at his words. The cameras flashed, but this time the attention didn't bother her. For once, The world saw not a scandal, but a man choosing family over fame. That night, as the city lights glowed across the skyline, Logan stood on his balcony beside Olivia. The wind carried peace instead of regret. "You rebuilt everything," Olivia said quietly. "Not everything," Logan replied softly, "but enough to start again." Liam's laughter echoed from inside, warming the air around them. Logan turned to her. "You were right, Olivia," he whispered. "Pride destroys. Love restores." She smiled faintly. "And forgiveness heals." He nodded, emotion glistening in his eyes. For the first time in years, Logan Matthews didn't feel powerful. He felt whole. The man who once lost everything had finally learned how to live. Months later, the graduation. Spring arrived with soft winds and sunlight spilling across the city. Logan adjusted his tie nervously as he stood outside the high school auditorium. The sound of cheerful families filled the air, a noise he once would have ignored. Today he embraced it. Olivia appeared beside him in a cream dress, calm and radiant. "You look nervous," she teased. "More than I ever was before a business deal," he admitted, smiling faintly. The doors opened, and students in navy gowns filed in. When Liam appeared among them, tall and confident, Logan's breath caught. His son wasn't shadow anymore. He was hope. Inside, the auditorium buzzed with excitement. Logan and Olivia found seats near the middle row, blending among other proud parents. The stage lights glimmered as names echoed across the speakers. Logan's hand shook slightly each time applause filled the room. Olivia glanced at him, smiling softly. "You've waited for this moment," she whispered. "No," he corrected gently. "I've prayed for it." When Liam's name was called, time seemed to pause. Olivia clapped proudly while Logan rose slowly, eyes glistening. The crowd's cheers blurred into music as Liam walked across the stage. For Logan, every step erased 17 years of regret. After the ceremony, the crowd spilled onto the school courtyard, laughter and camera flashes filling the air. Liam walked toward them, his graduation cap in hand. Olivia embraced him tightly. "You did it," she said proudly. Logan hesitated before stepping forward. "Congratulations," he said softly. Liam studied him for a moment, then smiled. "Thanks, Dad." The single word hit harder than any apology or speech ever could. Logan's chest tightened as he fought tears. "You don't know what that means to me," he whispered. Liam nodded. "I do," he said, "because I know what forgiveness looks like now." Logan smiled gratefully. The three of them walked together through the crowd, the sun painting golden streaks across the pavement. Logan carried Liam's diploma, while Olivia held his cap. "You two look like proud parents," a teacher commented warmly. Olivia smiled. "We are," she said. Logan turned toward Liam, his voice thick. "You've given me a second chance, son." Liam looked at him, his expression sincere. "You gave yourself one, Dad. You just had to stop running from it." The word struck deep, a gentle truth wrapped in love. For the first time in decades, Logan didn't feel like a businessman. He felt like a father. Later that evening, they celebrated at a small family restaurant near the lake. The candles flickered softly as laughter filled the table. Logan watched Olivia and Liam share stories about the past years he had missed. He didn't interrupt. He just listened, grateful for the sound of belonging. "You okay?" Olivia asked quietly. Logan nodded. "I'm more than okay," he said. "I'm home." Olivia smiled, emotion glimmering in her eyes. "You've come a long way, Logan." He reached for his glass, raising it slightly. "To love that forgives," he said. "To lessons learned," Olivia added. "And," Liam finished, "to family that heals." As night deepened, they walked along the lake's edge. The city lights shimmered across the water, reflecting like scattered diamonds. Liam walked ahead, leaving Logan and Olivia behind. Logan slowed his pace, glancing at her. "I don't deserve you," he said softly. Olivia's lips curved into a faint smile. "Maybe not," she replied. "But you've earned peace, Logan." "That's enough." He nodded slowly, emotion thick in his throat. "You saved me, Olivia." "No," she said gently. "You saved yourself the moment you stopped chasing perfection." He smiled. Maybe perfection isn't success, it's love. She met his gaze. Now you finally understand. The wind carried faint music from a nearby festival, wrapping the moment in quiet magic. Liam turned, waving at them. "Come on, you too," he shouted with a grin. Logan chuckled. "He's got your spirit," he said. "No," Olivia replied with warmth. "He's got ours." They joined Liam by the pier, standing side by side. The moon rose higher, its light resting on their faces. Logan closed his eyes for a moment, whispering a silent prayer of gratitude. For the first time, his heart wasn't burdened by pride, pain, or ambition. Only peace. The past hadn't disappeared, but it had finally healed. Weeks later, Logan's foundation reached national attention. Reporters praised his transformation, calling him the billionaire who chose redemption over fortune. Yet Logan avoided interviews. He declined awards and television appearances, preferring the quiet of his volunteer work. "The world doesn't need another speech," he told Olivia one afternoon. "It needs proof." Olivia smiled proudly. "And you've given them that." Liam entered the room with college brochures in hand. "Dad, I think I know what I want to study," he said. "Social work." Logan's eyes filled with emotion. "You're following your heart." Liam smiled. "I'm following yours." Logan hugged him tightly. That evening, Olivia stood by the balcony, watching the sun melt into the horizon. Logan joined her, slipping his arm gently around her shoulder. "He's going to change lives," she said softly, "just like you did." Logan shook his head humbly. "No, Olivia, you're the reason this story didn't end in tragedy." She smiled faintly. Maybe it ended exactly where it was supposed to. They stood in silence, listening to the city breathe beneath them. Logan turned toward her. "If I could start over, I'd choose you again." Olivia's eyes glistened. "Then choose me now," she whispered. He smiled. "I already have." The next morning, sunlight poured through the windows, warm and forgiving. Logan stepped onto the balcony, watching the city awaken below. Olivia brewed coffee inside, while Liam packed for college. Life felt whole again, quiet, unhurried, meaningful. Logan exhaled. The weight of 17 years finally lifted. He turned as Olivia walked out, handing him a cup. "What are you thinking about?" she asked. Logan smiled gently. "That sometimes losing everything is how we learn to value anything." She leaned into him as Liam called from inside. "Love you both." Logan kissed her forehead. "Love rebuilds everything," he whispered, "even broken hearts."